2024 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid Review. Pros. Such a terrific package. Real-world efficiency. Still one of the best to drive. Cons. Wait time still excessive. Prices have gone up considerably. Can be a little noisy. Is it worth the wait? This mid-sized SUV offers a lot of positive traits, terrific real-world efficiency, and it's a very good size, offering plenty of practicality for growing families. Let's run through why I think this is still one of the best, if not the best medium SUVs on the market. How much does the Toyota RAV4 Cruiser 2WD Hybrid cost? Let's also contextualize the original start price for this generation RAV4 Cruiser 2WD Hybrid. Back at launch in 2019, this spec was $41,140 plus on-road costs. Today, it's $51,410 before on-roads. I know a lot has happened in the market and the world since those simpler times, but that does give you some indication that its value equation isn't quite as strong as it was. There is at least still a heap of good gear in standard specification, and the most recent update has seen some included new stuff, which I'll detail further down. However, it is probably worth considering some of the rivals the RAV4 competes against, and what you might want to cross-shop this hybrid high-spec model against. Firstly, there's the GWM Haval H6 Ultra Hybrid, which at $45,990 drive away, offers strong value for money. It's also the pick of the H6 lineup in terms of the drive experience too. Another model you might want to consider if hybrid tech is your interest is the Nissan X-Trail e-Power, which in TI spec is a $54,690 proposition. It doesn't do hybrid the same way the RAV4 or H6 do. Instead, it uses its petrol engine purely as a generator, and there's a battery pack and electric motors to propel the car. Different, but interesting. Toyota RAV4 pricing. Toyota RAV4 GX2WD, $39,760. Toyota RAV4 GX2WD Hybrid, $42,260. Toyota RAV4 GXAWD Hybrid, $45,260. Toyota RAV4 GXL2WD, $43,310. Toyota RAV4 GXL2WD Hybrid, $45,810. Toyota RAV4 GXLAWD Hybrid, $48,810. Toyota RAV4 XSE 2WD Hybrid, $49,585. Toyota RAV4 XSE AWD Hybrid, $52,585. Toyota RAV4 2WD Cruiser, $48,910. Toyota RAV4 Cruiser 2WD Hybrid, $51,410. Toyota RAV4 Cruiser AWD Hybrid, $54,410. Toyota RAV4 Edge AWD, $56,230. Toyota RAV4 Edge AWD Hybrid, $58,360. What is the Toyota RAV4 Cruiser 2WD Hybrid like on the inside? I've long been a fan of the interior of the Toyota RAV4. It blends smart design, clever storage, simple controls, as well as quality fit and finishes. This makes for a really likable, comfortable family space. New to the recently updated RAV4 is the addition of a larger touchscreen media system. This makes the interior feel a touch more modern in the higher spec versions than the 8.0-inch screen still available in cheaper grades. The new 10.5-inch touchscreen sits a little prouder, with a higher resolution, brighter display, but sadly without the physical buttons on the edges of the screen. It also has a slightly more confusing, well, until you're used to it, screen menu system with a few hidden elements that aren't as simple to adjust as they could be, such as the sound settings for bass, treble, and fader, for example. Thankfully, it's pretty easy to get to grips with, especially if you're like me and usually just use Apple CarPlay to interact with the screen. The JBL sound system is pretty good too. And while there's built-in sat nav, in my experience it can be a little bit laggy as to your current position and the instruction coming up, so you might find you miss a few turns if you rely on it. There's also a new digital instrument cluster in this spec. It is crisp, colorful, and more modern than the previous version. It's easy to use and the info on display is useful and manageable in terms of moving through the menus using the steering wheel controls. In fact, it's the controls that make the RAV4 simple to live with, as none of the crucial stuff is buried in the media screen. There's a pair of big rubberized dials for climate control, while fan and air conditioning controls all fall easily to hand too. Plus, in this spec, you get the heated and ventilated, cooled, seat buttons in that same area as well. While the driver's seat comfort and adjustment is good, taller people might find the passenger seat to be too high, though it does offer 8-way power adjustment. My brother-in-law is 6'4", 193 centimeters, and he struggles to fit there when his partner is driving. Storage is excellent in the RAV4 with the big shelf in front of the passenger offering a good space for stuff. There are also good nooks near the gear selector, including a 50-cent piece-sized section which is apparently great for putting your garage or gate fob, and there are big cup holders as well as a covered center console bin. Front occupants also get large door pockets with bottle holders. Front seat riders might appreciate the small sunroof, but it's tiny by modern standards. The rear seat accommodation easily has enough space for an adult my size, 182 cm/60, to fit behind my own driving position. There's a decent amount of width to the seat as well, so 3 adults across is possible. Headroom is generous, knee room good, and toe room fine. If you have younger occupants, there are ISOFIX points in the window seats, 3 top tether points and directional air vents and USB charging to keep those in the back happy. Plus, there is a storage pocket, just one, flip-down armrest with cup holders and bottle holders in the doors. The RAV4 is exclusively a 5-seater, so some buyers might be left looking for alternatives with 3 rows of seats. If you need those, the larger Kluger is an enlarged version of this, otherwise best to look at a CR-V, Outlander, or X-Trail. The boot is another plus, with 580 liters of cargo capacity. There's easily enough space for a family to head away for a weekend in the RAV4. I've done it with my daughter, 2 dogs, and a boot full of stuff, and the car did fine. There's a space-saver spare wheel in this grade, and an adjustable boot floor to allow just a wee bit more depth to the space. It's 580L in that setup or 542L with the floor at standard height. Fold the rear seats down, and there's 1690L of capacity. What's under the bonnet? Toyota RAV4 2WD hybrid models pair a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated petrol engine with an electric motor and small battery pack, good for a system output of 160 kilowatts. It uses an ECVT, continuously variable transmission. Choose the AWD model and you get an additional E4 electric motor at the rear axle, and power bumps to 163 kilowatts. However, if you don't want to wait months, years, possibly, for a RAV4 hybrid, there's also a better than average 2.0-liter 4-cylinder petrol engine, 127 kW/203 Nm, with a CVT auto and front-wheel drive. It's a pretty good urban runner, and has decent real-world efficiency on its side too. Just keep in mind that if you need to tow, this might not be ideal for you. Maximum towing capacity is just 480 kilograms in 2WD hybrid models like this one, including brake towing. Unbraked towing capacity is 750 kilograms for all others, while brake towing maxes out at 800 kilograms in 2.0-liter models, and 1,500 kilograms in AWD hybrid and 2.5-liter petrol models. How does the Toyota RAV4 Cruiser 2WD hybrid drive? The RAV4 does it right for families who are after a predictable, comfortable, and even enjoyable SUV to live with. It nails the brief. The hybrid powertrain is powerful enough, even with 5 on board, and has some serious smarts when it comes to choosing whether to run in EV mode, use the petrol engine, or use a combination of the two. It will often flick to EV when you're coasting around town, or even use battery power to pull you away from a standstill. And there's also the chance you will find the car running electric. There's a green indicator on the screen to prove it, when you're driving on the highway, using light throttle. It does make a bit of racket when you have the engine kicking in under hard throttle, and it can be a bit noisy at idle when it's cold, I should add. But I think the noise is more noticeable because it often runs in near silent EV mode. It's not totally silent, of course, there's some noise intrusion from the tires at some speeds on some surfaces, but the most intrusive sound in the cabin is actually wind rush around the mirrors/windscreen up front. The driving manners of the RAV4 are really good too, with sweet, natural feeling steering that is well weighted and easy to judge for parking moves or at pace. The suspension also deals really well with lumpy roads and sharp edges too. It's definitely comfortable as a family car, and as a commuter. Speaking of commuting, the active safety technology is well sorted in the RAV4, with a pretty subtle lane keeping assistance system for highway driving, and stop-start cruise control to take the pain out of low-speed traffic snarls. RAV4 Cruiser highlights: 18-inch alloy wheels, hybrid. 19-inch alloy wheels, petrol. Projector-type LED headlights. LED daytime running lights. LED front fog lights. Auto power folding mirrors. Power sunroof. 10-way power driver's seat including memory. 8-way power passenger seat. Heated, ventilated front seats. Leather upholstery. Ambient lighting. 9-speaker JBL sound system. Surround view camera. Digital rear view mirror. 10-way power adjustment including lumbar support, driver. 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster. 10.5-inch infotainment with sat-nav. Including Toyota connected services. Apple CarPlay, wired, wireless. Android Auto, wired only. DAB and digital radio. 3x front and 2x rear USB ports. Keyless entry. Push button start. Power tailgate. Automatic high beam. Automatic headlights. Rain sensing wipers. Heated, power folding exterior mirrors. It's easy to see why people gravitate to this grade, though keep in mind you can't get a cruiser with the panoramic glass roof that is an option in the top spec edge. Is the Toyota RAV4 safe? The RAV4 achieved the maximum 5-star NCAP safety rating in 2019, and it's valid until December 2025. The score breakdown saw the RAV4 achieve 93% for adult occupant protection, 89% for child occupant protection, 85% for vulnerable road user protection, and 83% for safety assist. The following safety features are standard across the range. Autonomous emergency braking, AEB. Pedestrian/daytime cyclist detection. Intersection turn assist. Adaptive cruise control. Blind spot monitoring. Lane departure warning. Lane tracing assist. Rear cross traffic alert. Reversing camera. Front, rear parking sensors. Traffic sign recognition. Trailer sway control. Emergency steering assist. Hill start assist control. 7 airbags including front side, full-length curtain and driver's knee airbag. If you buy the Cruiser or Edge you get a 360-degree surround view camera, while other specs get a reversing camera. Weirdly, though, the Edge alone has active rear cross traffic assist and low-speed reverse AEB, which I think ought to be standard more widely. How much does the Toyota RAV4 Cruiser 2WD Hybrid cost to run? All Toyota models come with a 5-year, unlimited kilometer warranty, but if you make sure you maintain logbook servicing, with Toyota or other approved mechanics, you can get up to 7 years of powertrain cover.